but I really like it and I'm kind of proud of it, and that made me so much more excited for actually uploading the video. I have no idea how well the video... Did you see that? We already have Cure and literally no other magic. And now we have Cure and literally no other magic. And we have another Horror Plus. That is amazing. Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, I'm recording this on the day it's getting published again, because I can't keep a backlog going for the life of me. Number two, at the end of the last episode, the game crashed, and I wrongfully assumed that that was because I was adding a randomizer to the game. I was modding the game, so it became less stable. Now, it turns out that Kingdom Hearts 2 on PC specifically, this doesn't happen on any other version of the game that I am aware of. That being the PlayStation 2 version, obviously not, PlayStation 3 version, PlayStation 4 version. I've played all of them. None of them have this issue where the game just randomly likes to crash and there's no real clear reason as to why. Like, people on the internet, if you Google for it, will give you the answer. You have to do, like, enable exceptions in your antivirus. I already have that because otherwise the game just will not let me save in the first place. You have to reinstall the game. I refuse to fucking do that. And I think that there were a couple of other things that all just like, more or less, have you tried turning it off and on again? And sometimes that works, but it seems like there should be an issue that shouldn't be an issue in the first place, right? So I'm highly annoyed with that. I'm going to not do anything about it. Sorry, I just had dinner. I have a bit of a raspy throat as a result. I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. The only thing that I can do, quote-unquote, about it is literally just save at every single save point. We don't need the puzzle pieces. I need to remind myself of that. Just save at literally every single save point we come across. And whenever we crash, hopefully, like, not have to replay too much. If the crashes are too common, meaning that, like, if they happen literally every episode, I'm going to just go back to the PlayStation 2 version of the game. Which means that we'll be able to also randomize enemies and bosses, and also have the Garden of Assemblage. Honestly, I might just prefer to do that anyway. I figured maybe let's give the PlayStation, or the PC version, I mean, a go for this, but obviously the PC version itself is not cooperating with that idea, so we have a little bit of time to open some chests around here. I know that these are literally the same chests that I can just go ahead and grab if I walk out of the camp, but I'm here right now and neither of them was worth anything. So there you go. So yeah, long story short, hopefully it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but if the crashes end up being a huge problem, we'll just go back to the PlayStation 2 version, which maybe is just what we should have done to begin with. So maybe, I don't know. I was going to say maybe the devs will fix it, but the issue actually lies with Square Enix, not with the people making the randomizer. Meaning that there's a very low likelihood of them actually fixing it, because if they were planning on fixing a bug that literally crashes your game at just random intervals for no apparent reason, they would have done it by now, right? They would have done it within the first 3 months of the game releasing. They haven't done it by now. I'm assuming that fix is just not coming. And it's just not happening. And frankly, I think that is highly not okay. Like, you're selling this game as a package of games. Admittedly, it's only this game, as far as I can tell, that has this issue. Kingdom Hearts 1, I've played it on PC. It's not that big of a deal. I'm assuming Birth by Sleep doesn't have any similar issues either. And then you also have Chain of Memories, which I don't know, obviously. But you can't really, like, sell a game that doesn't work. That is not okay, Square. You can't do that. I mean, in 2021, you can do that. Literally speaking, you can. But you definitely should patch the issue. And you haven't done that yet. This game was released end of March. It's end of June. It's been 3 fucking months. Get your shit together, Square. This is highly not okay. Anyway, so I think it's time for some anecdotes, because I don't have anything gameplay related to talk about at the moment, and I kind of was saving this for a live stream, but who knows? Maybe I'll just talk about it in both. Doesn't seem like it's the same people watching. Well, let's be honest, the live streams are a lot less people watching, so the people that watch both is not my problem, is it now? So we move on. So yeah, there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. Number one is I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I had a couple of items. One of which was a container of garlic butter, because that shit is good. And some like baguettes and some soup, and all those go together fairly well. You can imagine what I did with all of those, right? So the person at the cash register just like, they scanned everything and I paid with my card. And then I go to walk away, not really paying attention, admittedly. No, wait a second, I'm telling this story out of order. So they ask me, would you like a receipt with that? And I say, no thank you, I don't need a receipt. I am very annoyed when people don't ask if I want a receipt, because sometimes I do. Even if I'm just like buying food stuff. Sometimes I want it for practical purposes for myself, just to be able to like keep track of the expenses I've had and like put them in like a Excel document. I don't really do that much anymore, because at this point I am fairly like confident in the amount of money that I spend on groceries, and it's pretty much the same every month, and I just know. But like when you're trying to figure this kind of stuff out when you move out on your own for the first time, which was like years ago, and have to start like doing your own groceries shopping, it can be very useful to just like take receipts and just like log them in an Excel sheet, and we have a summon. And through that, figure out how much am I actually spending on groceries, and could it be maybe a little bit less? And let me tell you, it often could be a little bit less. So in those regards, it's really annoying when people don't ask you, would you like a receipt with that? Of course, you can just ask, can I have a receipt? Well, that kind of makes you sound like a bit of a dickhole. The other issue is sometimes, even if I'm just like buying food and they're like, oh, they don't need a receipt for this. Yes, I do, because it's a business expense, because I'm actually like, wisdom form, okay, hello. We actually have a form that we can use, and we don't have fire yet, damn it. I was going to say, and we have a very good opportunity to immediately level it up. But at least we have it now, so that's neat. But we don't have fire, which would have helped a lot in the upcoming fights. Anyway, so sometimes like you have a crew of people that you need to feed, and getting food for those people is a business expense, and as a result, I would very much like a receipt, right? So in those cases as well, I would very much just like encourage anybody just to always ask whether or not your customer wants a receipt. That is just literally, why wouldn't you, right? The other side of that story is I was at the grocery store, as I said, buying some ingredients to make myself some soup, which is literally what I just ate before recording this, actually. So everything's connected. It's all tied together. And I go to pay, and the person manning the cash register asks, would you like a receipt with that? And I'm like, no, thank you. I don't need it. I got a picture. I don't need it. And then apparently they didn't scan the container of garlic butter, which is a essential part of the whole like soup, bread, and garlic butter, because it's literally 1/3 of the ingredients. It's not that complicated. Holy shit! Something just fell and I don't know what. Scared the living crap out of me. And she goes to scan it, and I pay for it. It's like another 60 cents. Sure, doesn't matter. And the interesting part is, at this point, and this is a legitimate question, right? I'm getting so many things today, I love it. That is amazing. That is actually, I don't think I can use that yet. I think you need 4 drive gauges for that, but that is probably one of the best things that I've gotten. Limit form is really, really fucking good. Can we actually... Wait, I don't have wisdom form anymore? Where the fuck did wisdom... Oh, I don't have wisdom form to begin with, because... we can't tell Pink to fuck off yet. Goofy, you go. Now we have wisdom form. We can't do limit form yet. That sucks a little bit, but that's okay. So yeah, I already refused a receipt for the first portion of the groceries that I bought. But then she rescans, not rescans, then she scans the item that she missed. And she asks me, do you want a receipt with that? And I'm like, no. No, I didn't want it for the rest. And I didn't specifically like put this away from the rest of the groceries. You just forgot to scan it. You just didn't see it, which is fine. Like, mistakes happen. I'm not like berating somebody for like forgetting or missing a very small container of butter. That is totally understandable. But in what world would I say no to a receipt for like 4 items and then say yes to a receipt literally less than a minute later for one very insignificant item? Like, why would that ever happen? And yet, still, even though it makes no fucking sense to ask for it, I was very happy that this person asked if I wanted a receipt. Because that is part of your fucking job, is making sure people may or may not want that receipt. Maybe I'm thinking a little too much about this, I'll be the first to admit that. But I wasn't really sure, because I felt 2 things at once, right? On one side, I felt like slight annoyance, because like, why would you ask that? Because I literally just said no to another receipt. And at the same time, I was kind of happy that this person, apparently, what I assume happened, right? Is they're so used to when they finish scanning items, and are like pressing the button to let the customer pay, that they just automatically ask, would you like a receipt with that? And that is the kind of muscle memory that I very much appreciate a grocery store employee to have. So, as much as like a slight hint of annoyance was present there for a quick moment, when it first happened, that quickly was driven away by, no, actually, I think I quite like this. And that's my grocery store anecdote for today. I just felt like 10 minutes of airtime talking about receipts. I think that might... Honestly, I've talked about this before. I'm not saying that I'm like a crazy talented person. I am definitely not. There's a couple of things that I can do reasonably well, one of which is like video editing and like analysis on like film stuff, right? That is, well, that's what I went to school for. That's what I've literally like been trained to do with my life. Sounds a lot more deep when you call it trained rather than schooled. So I would argue that I'm pretty damn good at that, and you could say talented. I don't like the word talent because it implies that people are like inherently superior from birth. And I just do not believe that that is the case. Like, very talented people, other than like, of course, like if you're taller, you're going to be like better at playing basketball. But does that mean you are talented at playing basketball, or does that just mean you're tall? I think talent is a measure of skill, and I don't think skill in any way is inherent. So I don't like the word talent, is what I'm getting at. Because it makes people feel like, oh, but they're talented, so I will never be able to do that. And it's also, not because I feel like it puts people down thinking, oh, I can't achieve that. The reason I don't like using the word talent for mostly anything is because if you think that other people are inherently better at doing something because they have talent, you then use that as an excuse when you are not as good at it. While, like, I'm sorry if anybody watching this is going to take this the wrong way, but if you are getting worse results than somebody else, that is not because there is some like magical property to them called talent, which they have more of in that particular field. It's that they have more experience and just put in more work in that specific field, and that's why they're better. And that could go back to like childhood before they like chose what to do with like a career path or anything. But I just do not buy the idea that there's like this inherent thing inside of a human being that makes them better at certain things. So I would say that I'm reasonably skilled at those things, not talented, is what we're getting at, right? I think another thing that I am certainly, and I think this is a very good example of skill versus talent, because if you go back to my earlier videos, you will definitely be able to see that I didn't have any talent for just keeping a dialogue up and have it be somewhat interesting. And I would, as much as I don't like to congratulate myself on things, I would very much say that I am decently good at just keeping, well, not even a dialogue, a monologue, which is much more difficult. Keeping it up, and even if it doesn't like mean anything, what I'm saying, I keep saying things, right? I keep talking, I keep hopefully being entertaining. The entertainment value, or lack thereof, of anything I say is in the eyes of the beholder, and is really difficult for the person creating the content, in this case me, to actually judge. That being said, obviously there is a... There are plenty of situations where you do something and you figure, yeah, that was good. That was probably really fucking funny. But most of the time, you're not entirely sure what the good parts are as you are recording it. But I'm reasonably skilled at keeping up this non-stop monologue for like an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours at a time. You could say that I'm talented in that regard, and that I'm just good at it. But again, I would like to refer you to the first videos that I uploaded on this channel, which aren't public anymore. Because they were in Dutch, and when I switched to English, I privated those videos. But even the first English videos, you'll definitely be able to tell that I am trying very hard, and like, there's two things happening in those videos. I'm trying way harder to like be entertaining and be funny than I do now, and I'm also succeeding less. So it gets really annoying really quickly, where you can really tell that I'm trying, but failing. And just somebody failing is one thing, but somebody that's really obviously trying very hard and failing is very cringy to watch. And if I were talented in doing this, I wouldn't have had like years of subpar quality content. It's because I have done literally like 2,000 plus of these kind of videos, which means that yes, I've done about 1,000 hours. I need to go to the other wing first. I always make this fucking mistake. I've literally done like let's playing for more than 1,000 hours of my life at this point. Just let that sink in. I've sat for more than 1,000 hours just sitting down, playing games, talking into a microphone. After doing something for 1,000 hours, you get good at it. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter where you came from. If you do something for 1,000 hours, you get good at it. I think the general like being an expert on something rule, it's doing something for 10,000 hours makes you an expert in something. Generally speaking, of course, that's a very broad statement that doesn't apply to everything and what is doing a thing to begin with, because some things are just more complex than others. I would say that doing what I'm doing right now, doing this for another 9,000 hours isn't going to significantly improve the quality of my work. because the task I'm doing itself is literally just like two tasks really, because I'm also playing a game. But it's literally just like multitasking two things at once. Whereas if you're talking about like, let's go for video editing, the other thing that I spend a lot of my time on, more so actually than doing this, because I also have to edit things. You say? That is a much more complex and wide-reaching topic, right? So that is going to require a lot more time invested to actually like grasp concepts within that field and get good at them. So that might lean more towards 10,000 hours, whereas about 1,000 hours I think that I'm not going to say that I've peaked, because you always feel like you've peaked, right? You pretty much always feel like, yeah, this is pretty much like the final most skilled version of me. And that always ends up being untrue. So maybe in a couple of years' time when I'm still doing this, if I'm still doing this, I'll be even better. And I won't have even those little moments of silence that I just had. Then again, I don't think it's necessarily all about not shutting up. I think that like giving, like just literally just breathing every now and then is just a good thing, right? That was very easy. And just having a moment to like chill down a little bit. It doesn't have to be non-stop sound being pumped into your ears. You guys can wait for like literally 2 seconds while I gather my thoughts and like make a sentence in my head, right? I hope you can. If you can't, that's a you issue. That definitely is not my problem. If you can't wait for 2 seconds for me to say something. I know some people who seemingly can't, but that's an entirely different subject altogether. Okay, so I do actually have to keep saving. I forget that sometimes. But we are not playing Game Master 3 anymore, so we can actually save on different save slots, because we have 99 of them rather than just 9. No idea how they didn't fix that in the PC version. Or how there's not been a mod for that yet, as a matter of fact. It's horrible. Which it actually does bring me to another thing. I'm very excited for a video that I've been working on. The video has been done for quite a while, but it's going up next Sunday, the first Sunday of July, and I'm getting really excited to upload it, because I had a lot of fun making the video, writing the video and stuff like that, right? But I made the thumbnail for it the other day, because I need that thumbnail to be used in the video that follows it. I don't think I'll be able to get to this last one without going back. Maybe I will? Maybe I will? Come on! Come on! We did. Okay. And the thumbnail it's very clickbaity. Let me just be very frank with that. It's very, very, very clickbaity. But I really like it and I'm kind of proud of it. And that made me so much more excited for actually uploading the video. I have no idea how well the video... Did you see that? We already have Cure and literally no other magic. And now we have Cure and literally no other magic. And we have another Horror Plus. That is amazing. Anyway. So I'm very excited for that video going up. Because I honestly do assume that it's going to be a fairly well-performing video. Because it's such a clickbaity thumbnail with an intriguing title. Also, abilities. With an intriguing title. And also a well-produced video. It's like it's actually like well-edited, animated, and stuff like that. It's I would say it's a well-made video. So I'm assuming that video to do reasonably well. Which might be a bit of an arrogant thing to say about your own work, but hey, what are you gonna do? What are we gonna do? I think that's literally all the abilities that I need to equip, so... You know what? Draw can't hurt. But I'm so excited for that video that it's really hard to keep it back. if it were up to me, I would upload it like today. I would just upload it today instead of this video, maybe even. Well, I wouldn't upload it instead of this video. But I would upload it this week, right? Because I always upload those edited videos on the first Sunday of the month. But I'm like, we can change it to last Sunday of the month and just like do the thing. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold it back. But I'm just very excited for that video. And I can't help but feel a little scared that I'm going to be very disappointed when that video inevitably only gets like 30 views as well. Because this is the kind of video that I'm like, this very well could like do thousands of views, if not more, over a longer period of time. I have faith in this video. I'm also very scared because it's such a clickbaity thumbnail that there's gonna be a lot of less than happy people in the comments and in the thumbs down department. But even if that happens, I mean, that would not be ideal because I would like positive feedback from people who aren't 12 years old. But even if that ends up happening, it's positive for the algorithm, right? Because even if people dislike, even if people leave like hate comments or stupid comments or whatever, that's still video interaction that's gonna help in the algorithm. That is really fucking good. I don't think it actually immediately gives me level 3. I think it just gives me level 1. It does give me level 3, okay. Remember when I said I might want draw? Yeah, I definitely do not. Because, we could dodge roll. Are we going to finish the rest of this world today? I think we're going to finish the rest of this world today. So it seems like this series, due to the lack of randomized bosses, I'm so glad that we changed Proud Mode. Wait, did we? I had to replay. Did I do Proud Mode? Where can I see that? Config. We are playing on Proud Mode. Okay. So I'm so happy that we're playing on Proud Mode because this is going very, very quickly. Matter of fact, I'm actually kind of debating whether or not I should have been on critical mode for this because there's no like weird ass bosses showing up early. So this game just becomes ridiculously easy when you get very powerful abilities very early on. As you can clearly see. That's not where we go. We go, I think, maybe in this direction instead. I always forget Beast Castle. Beast Castle is so confusing to me. I've done this so many times, but knowing when to go to which wing, I always know, right? I always know when I do the mistake where I'm actually supposed to go. So I really should just learn to go to that place right away rather than going to the wrong place first. Because I always go to the wardrobe first before going to Belle's room. And then I always go to the ballroom before actually going to the wardrobe. There's a lot of things regarding the wardrobe that I just don't do well. Including my own wardrobe. Anyway, this fucker is really annoying in randomizers because it's really relying on its arena, which obviously is a huge ass problem when he shows up in anything that's not this arena. But I said that as if we're not doing a randomizer right now. I mean, boss randomizers. Anyway. Let me focus here for a moment because this guy just moves around so much and it's just annoying. The second part of this fight isn't nearly as bad. Also, I would very much like to just get scan and area recovery at some point. Those are two abilities that I'm very much missing. I guess scan is in no way required because we're just doing so well that I'm not getting any close calls where I'm like, should I use an offensive spell or maybe I dodge that? Or maybe I should just use Cure and play it safe. That's really the only reason that I need Scan, is to be able to make judgments like that. And maybe not having Scan is actually going to help me, because I'm always going to err on the safer side. So maybe I just don't need Scan. Maybe I just will not need Scan, which is a really good thing, because I'm still fairly certain that it's probably the ability that comes with either Oathkeeper or Oblivion. And if the Keyblade itself sucks, we're just not getting Scan in this series, which is a thing. Area recovery, however, or the counter variant of it, At any rate, something that helps me recover after getting hit into the air would be very helpful. Also, reflect. And while we're at it, just do Kuroga, because you're not going to give me any other magic anyway, apparently. Combo Master as well. Very much enjoy the idea of getting Combo Master. There's a lot of abilities. Sliding Dash as well, actually. Well, maybe if we have Sliding Dash, we don't necessarily need Combo Master as badly, or the other way around. So one or the other would be fine enough. This is a very interesting animation. Could you please just fuck off? You see, I would have very much liked... I even pressed the button. I don't know if you could hear. You probably couldn't. I even pressed the button there. Where the area recovery button. Obviously it didn't do anything. Because I don't have the ability. Oh, I have dodge roll. Probably should remember that. I also have the auto attack mod enabled. So I... does that work with dodge roll? It does not. It was worth a try. I don't remember this boss being such a bitch. You must be almost dead, right? You must be. You can't be. You can't have that much more HP, surely. You know what? Well, there you go. You're dead. I guess that is one experience for Wisdom form, because it is a Heartless still, right? So that still should give me one experience for Wisdom form. And with that, we have the end of a episode, a 32-minute episode at that, but the end of an episode nonetheless. So next time we're going to do Olympus Coliseum, which is a pretty long world, so that might just be one longer episode. But first, apparently, we're going back to Hollow Bastion, because why the fuck aren't we? Oh, 100 acre wood. We have 2 torn pages, but we ain't doing this today. We'll be doing this next episode. Until then, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I haven't done this kind of outro in a while. I don't know why I'm doing it now. Bye.